Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Jen. And Jen sent in an audio file, so it's not too long. So here we go. Let's see how this works with the new setup. First audio file.
Hi, Ollie. First, I just want to thank you for all the work you do. I've seen countless examples now of how you've helped people turn their lives around, pretty much re-enter the land of the living. Just the validation is healing. What you do is healing, and you got a really strong army of black sheep to support the work that you do and defend you. So the story I would like to share is from my adolescence, and it's how my mom used homeschooling to punish me. First, a little
Probably just to keep all your friends away from you, first off.
background on my mom. She's what I believe to be borderline personality, probably comorbid with narcissistic personality disorder. I'm the oldest kid of 6. She's obsessed with being pregnant. She loves babies, but as soon as they speak up for themselves, pretty much get the boot. I was the black sheep, slave, Cinderella, and would be up early before school, changing diapers and helping feed babies. Oftentimes stressing because
That's what you want to do. You want to feed your brothers and sisters because your mother had too many kids that she can handle. So she makes it the responsibility of the other children to. I mean, it's the effect of somebody who just wants to be pregnant and doesn't actually want to be a mother.
homework would get pushed aside, and I'd have to come right home after school, and there'd usually be a bucket of shitty cloth diapers for me to clean poop out of, and a couple recipe cards on the counter so I can get started on dinner. So even at the young age, of 9th grade, my freshman year, I was already on domestic burnout, and I'd get to school, sometimes I'd show up and I would just fuck it, I'm not going to school today. All I'd want to do is be by myself, sit in a coffee shop and unwind. Just get rid of all of my domestic worries and really just unwind. I wasn't ditching school to do bad things, party. I wasn't doing drugs or anything. I just wanted to sit and enjoy a cup of coffee and unwind. So eventually, my cutting school made it home, and my mom found out. She pulled me out of school and said she was going to homeschool me.
You know why, right? Because she didn't want you telling the school why you weren't showing up, because that would have reflected on her. Like, what? You're making your high school daughter come home and cook your dinner and scrub out your shitty diapers? You're doing what? To the point where she can't that would have reflected on her. So there may have been some punishment in this, Jen, but there's also protection, because if you would have told the school what was actually going on, it would have come back on her.
As a punishment, I was also to be grounded for the following summer between my 9th and 10th grade. And if at the end of the summer she thought that I deserved to go back to school again, she would allow me to go to school. Now, at this time, my parents were involved in a cult.
Why would she let you go back to school? And you already got to the cult part, because I saw this is where it was going. If she's involved in a cult, now I'm already hearing cult. So I'm even more convinced this wasn't about punishment, Jen. This was about secrecy. Not punishment, secrecy. because she didn't want to get exposed for her shitty parenting. Now let's hear about this cult.
In Prescott, Arizona, called The Door. And it is pretty radical Christian, fire and brimstone, screaming in tongues. Scared the shit out of me that I was going to get left behind in the fucking rapture, even if I had the trickling of a bad thought go across my head. But that's a whole other story of what I consider my spiritual rape. So she takes me out of school and goes to the church, and she buys what was called, I believe, the Christian Charm course. And I just remember there were these floppy workbooks, and one of them was Bible study, the other was basic math. It was almost like those practice workbooks that you buy at a Walgreens or something so that your child has enrichment over the summer, but they weren't credited, and she didn't look into that. And so that year was tough. I was at home domestic servant, didn't really do a lot of learning, and did a lot of Bible study, that's for sure, a lot of changing of poopy diapers.
Where's that? What section is "Thou shalt change your whore mother's shitty poopy diapers" in the Bible? This wasn't about punishment. This was about control. This was about secrecy. This was about her shitty little secret, pardon the pun, not getting out.
Anyways, after I'd served my time and spent the whole summer indoors out in the country in Arizona, no neighbors, nothing. Interspersed with this is a whole lot of physical abuse, neglect, and I'll get into that in the future with other stories. Now, I'd like to call my mom by a certain name, and I'm going to explain a little bit of background on this name. The name is a Duragar, and what a Duragar is, there's a legend in the UK. In the Northeast, there's a place called Simonside Hills. It's in Northumbria, kind of close to the Scottish border. And there are these giant rock hills with big rock slab faces. And the legend says that there was a hiker at night, and he was cold, and he was this wayward hiker lost in the wilderness, and this little old creature, man troll type critter, approaches him and tries to lure him away from his fire, away from his campsite, and he refuses to do that. He refuses. And in the morning when he wakes and there's light, he realizes that had he listened to the Duragar, he would have fallen to his death. So I'm just call my mom the fucking Duragar, okay? Because that's what she is. She's a fucking Duragar. Haven't been in touch with her for 25 years.
And if you had fallen to her death, she would have had no risk of ever being exposed for being the piece of shit she is.
Life is good. Now, when the Duragar took me back to enroll me after I'd served my time, and in this time I wasn't allowed to talk on the phone, interact with my friends, I was allowed to go to church, and that was it.
Because God forbid somebody asked, well, why were you cut in school? Oh, you're basically running the whole household and going to school while your mother does what all day? You think this was about punishment? It wasn't about punishment. It was about protecting her ass.
And change shitty diapers. Anyways, she brought a cardboard box with all of my workbooks into the enrollment office of the high school and plopped it down on the counter And they looked at her and they start going through this box and they get this confused look on their face, and the admin is calling for, the vice principal, and they're trying to figure out what to do, and they finally come and they say, this isn't credited. There's no way that we can give Jennifer the credit for the work that she's done for the past year. My mom said, oh, well, tough luck, Jen. So I got separated from the few friends that I had, and had to repeat ninth grade. Anyways, well, this is just a starter story, and I've been watching Ollie for probably about 6 months. Kind of told myself that when I sent you a story, I was going to do it in audio. I'd like to save your voice, and I know you've been having the eye twitchies lately. I do have to compliment you on your new equipment. What an improvement, and thank you. So anyways, yeah, homeschool used as punishment. Well, thank you. And, I don't know if there are any other Babe movie fans out there, but Ba, Ray, Mew, to your clan, be true. We're a bunch of black sheep supporting you, Ollie. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You have to realize after she sabotaged your year like that, it was about brainwashing you. It was about keeping you quiet. That's what that year was about. Okay? Because if you would have spoken up, when she was comfortable enough that you weren't going to speak up about what was really going on in that house, she let you go back and even crippled you even more. So she pulls you out of school for not going to school by home. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, because somebody should have asked you, why aren't you going to school? And if you would have told them, that wouldn't have reflected on you. That would have come all back on her. So it wasn't only done to punish you. It was done to protect herself. That makes it even worse. So thank you, Jen, for your contribution and your audio file. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just sponsor or just make a contribution in general to the channel, help to keep the lights on, the bill paid, and the channel expanding, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. And if you're not seeing it, make sure your pop-up blocker is not on. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.